Hey, welcome back to Supercharge Fridays. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me properly? What is going on? If you can, tell me hi. Tell me I said hi. Um, and without further ado, let us begin. I'm done with my setup. If you're watching me, let me know in the comments that you're watching me so I know that you are here. How are you doing? Welcome back to Supercharge Fridays. My name is Sonal Behel, former HR director, now a career coach, job search coach. And I have about over 20 years of international corporate experience in India, South America, and Europe. And as a career coach, what I do is help ambitious people to land a role that is exciting, that makes them look forward to Monday morning, that pays better than before, and that challenges you. If that's what you're about, I'm happy you're here. If this is the first time you're meeting, if this is the first time you're seeing me, and if we've met before, welcome back. I'm happy you're here. Let us get started. What I do with these live streams, if this is your first time, is I've been doing this for about 5.5 years. 5.5 years. I haven't been this regular with anything. I don't know if you've been as regular as this about anything that's not your work. And that's my thing. And I do these office hours. So if you've got something on your mind, this would be the place to talk about it. Completely judgment free zone, whatever you say, especially if you're a little bit nervous and about asking me because you're like, oh, it's on LinkedIn and people can see what I write on LinkedIn. And that's a very fair um, observation. Then I recommend that you find me on YouTube. Just write my name, you'll find me on YouTube, and let us get into it. So, everything good? Thank you for tuning in. I am audible. Perfect. I appreciate this. Thank you, Ved, Santosh, Partha. Let's get started. Is there something on your mind? Is there something you need help with? Feel free to bring it up in the. Feel free to bring it up in the comment section. I'm gonna take a quick sip of my tea. I also wanted to announce, if you're watching me, in about 10 days' time, I plan to conduct an interview workshop, like a real workshop with like camera on, not like this, but like a proper Zoom with audio, video, so everyone can see each other. And I want to do a workshop on, like, I'm planning to call it an interview clinic. If that's of any interest to you, just signal below that you're interested. Okay, this particular one will be free. The next one will not be free. And we're going to get deep into it. I plan to do it not the coming Monday, but the Monday after. And I'm going to share all the details. So if this is of any interest whatsoever, feel free to write to me. I haven't set up a page or anything yet, but I'm going to do that soon. Feel free to write to me and say, feel free to write to me with the subject interview clinic. So I'll make sure that you get the invite. The fact that I'm telling you this now means I have to do it. Like, I can't chicken out now because I know this is going to be super duper beneficial. Yes. So not the 9th, but the 16th. I might actually do it over the weekend. Weekend is easier, especially for those who are working. I might do it on Sunday, actually, 15th. 15th of June, Sunday. I'm going to conduct an interview clinic. So if that is of any interest at all, I'm going to, set up a sign up page and everything. I haven't done that yet because I've literally just thought about it a few minutes ago. Feel free to email me with the subject line interview clinic. That's it. Just email me with the subject line interview clinic and I'll take care of the rest. Okay. All right. I'm going to announce this a little bit later as well in case anybody misses this. And without further ado, let us get into it. What's happening? You're very quiet. Is there something on your mind? I mean, as much as I love that you're hanging out with me, it's like super duper nice of you. I typically like to get into problem solving zone when I'm here, like, not zone, problem solving mode. Um, just to get you going. Let's see. How's your week been? How's your week been? Tell me about your week. Did it meet your expectations? Exceed expectations? Below expectations? How was your week? Meet expectations? ME? Exceed expectations? EE? Below expectations? BE? EE? ME? Or BE? Which one was it? Tell me, tell me, tell me. I want to know. The nation wants to know. All right. And let us get if you don't have questions, listen. I'm happy to hang up. I got stuff going on. You got stuff going on. Because this doesn't work like a monologue. This is a conversation. This is a conversation. So if you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm gonna be shy. I'm gonna be a bit shy. Don't. Okay? Tell me a bit more, Ashish, why it was meet expectations. Nothing wrong with that? Elaborate if you can. If you want. You don't have to. Ooh, Tirumurti EE. Good for you, man. What is the cool thing that happened? Let me know. Okay, I got a question already. Hi, Ved. What's up? Okay, you got a big question coming up because it's like one of three, two of three, and three of three. Okay. 2 weeks ago, I'd asked your advice, unfollowed it, and I checked out your video about how to decide. Okay. Finally, I left all my confusion behind and I followed a logical decision. What is the logical decision? I'm guessing you're still typing that. I'm going to wait for you. I'm a little bit nervous when somebody says, I followed your advice. I mean, it's always given with the right intentions, but so many things are outside our control. Like, it's out, like, I'm not inside that context with you. So you never know. It can go exactly as you planned, or it can go sideways, right? That's why I always say, read the room. You gotta read the room. But all right, listen. So I rarely think that we make decisions purely from logic. We also have to have a bit of heart in there. It's very rare. You know what I mean? Okay, so I don't remember. I don't know what that decision was, Ved. Are you happy with the decision for now? Are you happy with the decision? Let's see what your part two is. How do you politely say no to other companies who extended the offer? And it would really help if you can tell me how to excel in my role professionally, senior consultant. Okay, those are two different questions. First question, how do you politely decline? You got to let those guys know ASAP because you've kept them waiting. No company likes to wait, just like no candidate likes to wait, right? Say, listen, I really, really, really appreciate the offer. And I spent a lot of time weighing my pros and cons and making my list. Just say it in a more formal language. I spent a lot of time reflecting, and I have now decided to we get rejected by companies all the time. Isn't that like the polite thing? So you'll have to let them down gently. Okay. Look at the best practices. Some companies ghost. Don't do that. Best practice, you know what I would do if I were you? I'd pick up the phone, especially if you have been, like, if this has been dragging for a while and you have formed a bit of a relationship with the recruiter or the hiring manager. I'd pick up the phone. Nobody does that anymore. And say, thank you so much. And I'm going to have to respectfully decline for now because there's this other offer that just felt like a better fit. And do not over explain this. Okay? Don't get into too much. It can be unnecessarily, and that's it. I would say focus on that. How do you excel in your new role professionally? Okay. There's a lot in there. I think I have a whole video about this on my YouTube channel, but for now I will say be the most. There's two things. When you're in a new role, be the most enthusiastic person who raises his hand and wants to learn, because you don't, very rarely do you learn by sitting back and letting others lead and letting others do projects and volunteer. You be the one to do that. Participative learning. Okay, that's one. At the same time, be the most humble person. Like, you don't know anything right now. Be curious, be humble. You're coming from another company. The worst look is when someone comes in who's brand new and they're like, in my company, this is how we used to do things. I think that's the best way. Should I do that? Should I? No. Here, listen, they've hired you, you're smart, but be prepared to be back into like a student mindset. It's going to do you a lot of good. Okay? Good luck. Logical decision to join Capgemini since it is favoring all my requirements today. You negotiated, you got the brand, positioning, salary. Good for you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Indirect inputs, direct inputs. I mean, it's all on my YouTube channel, right? So, congratulations. Good for you. I'm happy for you. Congratulations. Well done. Well done. Well done. Hey, Sabir, how are you? All right. Good. Amazing. Well done. Any other questions I can help with for now? No? Okay. So I'm gonna kind of hang up now, but I just want to make sure in case you're joining me late and in case you missed this, I'm gonna be running an interview clinic, not this Sunday, the next Sunday. I believe it is the 15th of June. Okay. Um, it's not gonna be like a webinar, it's gonna be a Zoom with video and audio. Okay, and it's gonna be limited to a very small number of people. If this is of interest, feel free to write to me so that I make sure that you have the invite. Okay. I do want to say though, this would benefit you. For the person watching right now, it would benefit you a lot if you're at a senior, at least at a certain level. I would say you're at least 100,000 euros, because the kind of questioning and the kind of problem solving that we would be doing would benefit people of that level. I would say a minimum there. You're like at $100,000 and you'd like to be at 150, 200,000. If you like, I check those boxes, then even more I'd like you to come in and learn. Okay. All right. Any other? Feel free. Hey, Bharat. I recently had an instance of an aggressive email reply. The prospect future colleague, who I presumed to be a hiring manager, not HR, took offense on email on contacting her for help on my application. What, like, tell me more about the context. Is this somebody you don't know from Adam and you asked for help? Which, let's admit, even if you did, nothing warrants an aggressive reply. That sounds a bit extreme, a little bit dramatic. But tell me more about it. I don't have the full context. Prospect future colleague who I presume to be a hiring manager, not HR, took offense on email. Firstly, email is perfectly non-invasive. If you call somebody on their cell phone, like I had someone call me on my cell phone and he was like, oh, I found it. And I'm like, how do you find my number? I'm very private about my number. It's only like, family and friends. And he's like, oh, there's always a way. I'm in sales. I was like, delete my number right now and never ever do that again. So I was rude. But email is okay, especially when email addresses are publicly known. So I don't, I don't know if it warrants that reaction. Her message ended with not replying to this email and to avoid sending further messages on the same matter. My intent was clear, but overall misunderstood. If you want to end things, listen, you have different ways of ending this, right, Bharat? I mean, firstly, learn from this experience, understand what happened. Is it who was at fault, and in the future, could you do something differently? Okay, that's important. Second is, I would apologize. It doesn't matter. Saying, I'm so sorry. This sounds, I think I was misunderstood, and I take responsibility. I didn't mean to, bother you, or, and I will definitely not be sending you any message. I wish you the best. Leave it. Move on. Delete. Move on. Detach. Delete. Detach. Move on with the future. She's not known to me. Okay, and interesting, Bharat. I wouldn't necessarily advise you to reach out to a random person who you don't know and ask them for help on your application. I mean, if you're gonna cold message, then cold message. Say, I saw this role, I'm interested. and I think I'm a good fit, then talk a little bit more to people who you think could be decision makers. We do that in my program, but there is a certain way to do it, and certain messaging and certain words work better than others. This is one of the things I teach inside my program. This is important. Okay. Looks like you got burnt here, but sometimes that's what we need to learn. What matters is what you do next. So it's okay. We all have done that. We've all been there, done that. Lick our wounds and move on. I have more than my share of done that. Okay. So good luck. All right. Last question. Hey, Serena. Good morning. Good morning. I said, hey, Serena, and my phone starts talking to me because she thinks I said, hey, Siri, which I didn't. That's weird. Okay. I'm just checking if I have a message. And sometimes people want to ask questions anonymously. Hey, Serena, good morning. I had an interview. I had a final executive. Shut up, you silly phone. Hi, Serena. Okay, my phone can't hear me. I had a final executive assistant interview meeting with the CEO earlier this week after being selected by 2 panels. I've not heard anything yet. Should I be worried? I feel like this meeting went great. Yeah, I hate this part. This part is outside your control, the silence. Earlier this week, yeah, I would say if it's been 48 hours, more than 48 hours, I would send a one line like, hey, just checking in. I continue to be so excited about this role. If you have an update, I'd love to hear, and leave it. The waiting is very unhealthy. It's very bad for you. I think it's very bad for you, the waiting. So I would use that opportunity and work on other leads. Work on other leads, whether they are far along, whether they are brand new, doesn't matter. Work the books, pound the pavement, focus on others. It'll also help to keep your mind off and good for your mental health overall. All right. I guess you're laughing about the name pronunciation, which I'm not going to say because she hears it one more time. She's going to be like, oh, hello, how can I help you? Shh. All right. Hey, Ashish, what's your question? I'm in a sales role, but unable to achieve my. Did you mean to say target? I need a question, dude. I can't guess your question. Not in the business of guessing. How do you negotiate salary with HR? Hmm. Sachin, have you seen my YouTube videos? Take a look at my YouTube videos. There's a lot of stuff in there about negotiation because at the end of the day, HR are people. It particularly helps if the hiring manager likes you a lot. Likability factor is very important because when the hiring manager likes you, HR is responsible to ensure that there is income parity. Yeah. Salary, bonus, all of that. They have to ensure there's parity throughout. But at the same time, um, I mean, don't quote me here, okay? But exceptions are made all the time. So I have a whole playlist on my YouTube channel. I don't know where to begin. So check out salary negotiation. It's called Negotiate Your Salary Like a Pro. Check the playlist on YouTube, and when you do it, come back. Whether it's HR or hiring manager, people are people. Okay? Okay, good. Very good. Important. Very important. It's not good enough, Serena, when people are like, we really like you, we really like you. And, they have the right intent and they have the right motivation. I'm like, show me the money, channeling my inner Cuba Gooding Jr. Where's the money? Because I have people in my program who are doing really, really well. And then the company drags their feet. And I'm like, no, then let's talk to others because the first that actually makes the offer is really serious. The rest of them are so nervous. They have confidence issues. They don't want to take any risk. But hiring you would be the least risky thing they can do because you're good at what you do, right? So we want to like people who like us back. We're not in the business of chasing people and get them to like us and get them to change their mind. We're not in that business. No, definitely not. Any insights to attend this interview from your recent newsletter story? 1% chance of rain. No, I think I shared the. Um, yeah. Did anybody else read the newsletter? Did you like it? I had fun with it. I literally dictated it to my phone while walking the dog and then came back home and made it into a neat newsletter. It's all about. This is a very good question because earlier this week, not only did a client inspire the story, but also earlier this, I think yesterday, a client told me about a role and he's interested. And I know about that company because I had another client who was interviewing for the C suite and I've heard not so good things. And I was like, apply, apply, you know. So, in case anybody's wondering, it's all about um, end this live stream. Okay, okay. It's all about like don't listen to someone when they say don't interview here. It's a toxic company. Don't take their word as gold. Just like you don't take weather forecast as set in stone. Because I was giving this example. Like today's a very good example. It's like it's sunny today, and I was like, oh, I like drying my clothes outside. It's so like beautiful. The sun is shining, and I don't want to use the dryer. And I live in Europe, right? Sunshine is not a given. So, and this happened like on Monday. I was like, oh, sunshine, 1% chance of rain. It literally said 1% chance of rain. I have a very reliable weather app and downpour within an hour. When you think it's the sweet spot when they have just about dried and I was about to get them inside, downpour. So it's like, don't take anything at face value. That was the message, right? Ah, Christine, how are you? Good morning. How you doing? It's been a while. Um, Hi, Shabir. Potential segment of job seeker with slightly unconventional skill set veterans. Yeah, it is almost 100% certain that retiring personnel find themselves at a crossroads while transitioning. Could you design a customized program for this segment? I actually, Shabir, that's such a good question. I was working with someone from India to design a curriculum to help veterans transition, and he's disappeared. We talked a lot. I even did a free workshop last year for veterans in India. And then it's unfortunately this happens a lot. There's a lot of people who want to do things with me, want to partner, and then it goes nowhere. So I'm like, I'm not going to do all of this stuff anymore. However, I will say this, and at the risk of sounding boastful, I have veterans in my program as well. My program is for people who are in active job search mode at a senior level around the world, middle to senior level, and they're all over the world. And I have two people in my program who were in the Navy, and one was in the Marines in the US, one was in two were in the Navy in India, and they're all getting interviews. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's a hard journey, but they're all getting interviews. So yeah. I'm also going to be doing a venting email on LinkedIn one of these days about this because I have a story to share there. Venting, not about veterans, but about recruiters and hiring managers. But I'll get into that in a different time. Yeah, for sure. There's a very useful. It's a very useful point. So yeah, last question. If I have an offer, should I ask people working in the company about the culture in the company and perks and benefits, or ask from HR? I would say it's a bit late to be. I mean, this is something you want to find out as soon as possible. You know what I mean? I'm trying to understand by asking this, what are you planning to gain? If you have two, three offers in hand, then it's different. I get that. You know what I mean? That makes sense. But I don't know if you can already start trusting people in your future company to tell you about culture of a company, because if they start getting like shuffling their feet because they're nervous, they're like, oh, we don't know if Arsalan is going to join us. He's starting to talk to people inside the company. I would say you want to know this more during the interview process. Having said that, hold on. It's never too late. But take feedback with a pinch of salt, right? Reference my earlier comment about 1% chance of rain. You're like, what is she talking about? I talked about that a few minutes ago. Catch the replay. But good luck if you have an offer. I'm happy for you. All right, with that, we are now at 29 minutes past. Yeah, thank you. There used to be a time I used to do a lot of venting posts, and they actually do really well on LinkedIn. Now it's like everyone's doing them, so I don't want to contribute to the noise. But there is a genuine problem I have with this particular issue when it comes to veterans. I won't give it all away, but you'll see it. So if you're following me on LinkedIn, you'll see it. All right, I shall go now and let you get on with the rest of your Friday. If you're starting your Friday, I hope it's a lovely day. And if you're in Asia, you're ending your Friday. Take care of yourself, and I shall see you at the same time next Friday. Have a lovely day and weekend.